Stop scrolling. You've seen the post, you've seen the buzz. Humanitz just dropped its 1.0 update on February 6, 2026, and everyone on the internet is asking the same question: is this the next Project Zomboid? Looks chaotic, looks intense, and it's getting a lot of attention. But you're not a streamer reacting for clicks, you're a gamer. The question isn't, is it fun to watch? The question is this apocalypse actually worth your time and money? I'm Anecron, and this is the honest breakdown. My answer to that big question, absolutely not. And I'm going to break down exactly why the combat, the base building, and the fundamental tension of these games make them completely different animals. This isn't about which is better. This is about helping you decide which wasteland is the right one for you. Let's dig in. Let's start with the most immediate difference, the combat. How you fight defies a zombie game, and here, the two couldn't be more opposed. Project Zomboid's combat is intentionally clunky, tense, and dangerous. Every fight feels desperate. Your character gets panicked, tired, and overwhelmed with terrifying speed. Fighting more than one zombie is a death sentence for a new player, and a single bite can end a character you've spent dozens of hours on. This isn't an action game, it's a horror simulation, where combat is the absolute last resort. You are not a hero, you are a survivor, and fighting often feels like a failure to plan. Humanitz throws that entire philosophy out the window. It plays more like a top-down, twin-stick shooter. The experience is far more action-oriented and forgiving. You can take on small groups of Zeeks with confidence. Weapons are everywhere, and the 1.0 release doubled down on this, adding features like recoil, sway, and special ammo like Dragon's Breath shotgun shells. There are finishing moves, tougher enemy types like armored cops and zombie dogs, and even human bandits. This creates a completely different reality. In Project Zomboid, a successful day is looting a house without seeing a single zombie. In Humanitz, a successful day is clearing a town and coming back with a backpack full of loot. One is a game of avoidance, the other is a game of engagement. The combat in Humanitz is about managing chaos. The combat in Project Zomboid is about desperately trying to avoid it. Next, let's talk about building. Both games have it, but their purpose reveals a core difference in design. In Project Zomboid, building a base is a monumental undertaking. It's a deep, complex, and often frustrating system. To build a simple wall, you need a saw, a hammer, nails, and planks. Want to build stairs? You'll need to grind your carpentry to level 6. A real base requires you to become a plumber for rain collectors and an electrician for freezers. For many, mastering this system is the endgame. Humanitz approaches base building from a place of utility. The system is robust, letting you fortify buildings or build from scratch with defenses like barbed wire and traps. But the barrier to entry is significantly lower. You build workbenches, forges, and rain collectors because you need them to progress efficiently. It lacks the extreme detail of Zomboid. The focus is less on the intricate process of construction and more on the function of the base as a pit stop. This is perhaps the most important difference, the source of their tension. The tension in Project Zomboid is a slow-burning psychological dread. The game's motto, "This is how you died," hangs over every single moment. The fear isn't just the zombies. It's the can of food you forgot, the scratch from a broken window that might get infected, the crippling depression from being alone. It's the fear of losing a 50-hour character to a single, careless mistake. The most terrifying moments are often the quietest ones. Humanitz creates tension through immediate, action-focused threats. The tension is about being overwhelmed. It comes from dynamic weather that can give you hypothermia on a supply run, or getting caught in the open at night when tougher zombies appear. It's the sound of a horde descending on your position while you wait for an airdrop. The new infection system is a perfect example. Instead of a single bite being a dice roll for death, every hit adds to an infection meter. A bite instantly spikes that meter by a massive 50%, creating a sudden dramatic problem you have to manage. Ultimately, Zomboid's tension is born from simulation and consequence. Humanitz's tension is born from action and overwhelming odds. One makes you afraid of making a mistake, the other makes you afraid of what's coming over the next hill. So, the verdict. Is Humanitz the next Project Zomboid? No, it was never trying to be. Project Zomboid is the king of deep, hardcore zombie survival simulation. It's a game for players who want to lose themselves in the nitty-gritty details of the apocalypse, who find satisfaction in a slow, methodical burn. It respects your intelligence by punishing your every mistake. Humanitz is a different beast. It takes the genre and makes it more immediate and approachable, with co-op multiplayer at its core. It's for the player who loved the idea of Project Zomboid but was put off by its punishing difficulty and slow pace. It swaps deep simulation for accessible action and psychological dread for in-the-moment thrills. Calling it a Zomboid ripoff is to miss the point. It's an alternative. It's a different path through the same wasteland. One gives you a soul-crushing survival simulation. The other gives you a thrilling co-op action sandbox. The beauty is that now we have a choice. The genre is richer for having both. I gave you the breakdown. You can save me a like. That's the deal. Check the Patreon for more supporting options. I'm Anecron, and I'm out.